The Wind and the Troglodyte. Blowing softly through the thickets, gently whirring twixt the trees, winding up the valley wild, and whistling in happy keys, there streaks along a youthful wind, her destination unknown. Whimsy windily carries her on, she cares not where she is blown. By and by the wind she flows, an airborne racing wave. Abruptly she then breaks and crashes, splashing across the mouth of a cave. The troglodyte, he plays tonight on pipes of carved bone. Behind granite walls the piper calls, to absent ears in empty halls the notes resound through granite halls. Off the walls unanswered calls, from a piper's home in stone, alone. The sprightly wind does cup an ear, inclined unto the sound. Peculiar tunes and harmonies beckon her underground. Tunnels turn and caverns coil, but she remains unceasing. The music from the deep goes on, her curiosity increasing. Beneath the earth she runs the maze, the labyrinth of rock. An hour more and she finds a door. Of course, she has to knock. The troglodyte, he listens tonight to a song but not his own. Behind granite walls the young wind calls, to unknown tenants in empty halls. The knocks resound through granite halls. Off the walls a new voice calls, to the piper's home in stone, alone. Rising from his rocky chair to greet this visitation, the troglodyte opens the door and offers salutation. His eyes behold the marvelous form, the windy maiden of air. Her countenance alights upon the sight of pipes to share. To his lips he brings the instrument, and joyfully starts to play. As the wind blows merrily through the pipes, their voices sing away. The troglodyte, he plays tonight with the wind's breath as his own. Behind granite walls their harmony calls, to echoed applause in empty halls. The notes resound through granite halls. Off the walls so joyous calls, in the piper's home of stone, alone. The wind could not remain inside a sunless, breezeless deep. Her spirit needed the air to fly, to frolic, and to leap. He begged her not to leave his cave, their song was so alive. His pleas were met with resolution, she would not survive. As she came, so she took leave, blowing through the rock. Her trailing wake pulled shut his door with a final closing knock. The troglodyte plays not tonight, his pipes the wind has flown. Behind granite walls the silence falls on absent ears in empty halls. The hush resounds through granite halls. Off the walls unspoken calls, in the piper's home of stone, alone. Seasons pass and the way is shut against the blowing air. The troglodyte misplaced his pipes, for song he doesn't care. His foot brushes against something, shuffling through the black. He grasps them now and plays a note, but she's not coming back. The door is opened, and so he stands before a frozen wood. Ice and snow, or dark below, his path is understood. The troglodyte, he walks tonight with pipes of carved bone. Behind granite walls a farewell calls, On absent ears in empty halls, the hush resounds in granite halls. Off the walls concluded calls to the piper's home of stone, alone. Alchemy. The labors of a fortnight draw to their conclusion. Dollar signs and decimals mark my time's intrusion. Effort into money, and money into time. Seconds spent on food and rest, on scrubbing back the grime. Measure out the difference between what's gained and owed. Maybe black or maybe red. Reap from what is sowed. With plastic in my grip, or paper bills in hand, I turn and face the alchemists. Whose time shall I demand? I could pay for pleasure, embrace my libertine. Say, how much for a measure of time on dopamine? I could make investment for more seconds later on. Does time accrue interest? Can I turn minutes to an eon? I could pay for education and learn about the universe. But does knowledge change time's outcome, or is it just a looming curse? I could pay for power, command my sisters and brothers. Does my time have more value when it rules the time of others? I could give to charity my time for them instead. But what is the time of my neighbor worth? What balance should one tread? Or I could hoard my pay and watch my pile grow. But then when should I use it? And on what? How will I know? The alchemists transmute it, per our wishes set the scene, and the profits of our labors fuel the time machine. They're greedy little misers, though. Be careful what you give, for the alchemy of gold to time will decide the life you live.